guys. So this week I'm going to be focusing on the basics for my meal prep. I am going to focus strictly on a protein, a vegetable, and some sort of starch. So husband's busy doing stuff today too. So we're all kind of busy doing things and whatnot. Our daughter's over at her grandparents' house, hanging out over there, having a good time, so we can focus on taking care of the house and doing things. So I'm going to get started on defrosting some meat. That shouldn't take very long. Let's go ahead and get started.
Alright, so I'm starting off this week's meal prep with just defrosting my meats like I had previously stated. I use a stainless steel bowl since I have a single basin sink. Yes, I picked it that way. It works really great for me. So I chucked 2 pieces of salmon in there, a portion of shrimp, and 3 chicken breasts. And I just let them sit in the bowl full of hot water for however long it takes for them to defrost, which is usually about like 15-20 minutes, if that. While those are defrosting, I'm going to prep all of my root vegetables. I did a mixture of sweet potatoes, the leftover potato I had in my pantry, an onion, and some carrots. The celery was there. I was thinking I was going to use it for something else, and I realized that I didn't need it in the end, so it goes away. But I start by peeling my carrots, and I also peel the potato and the sweet potatoes. You'll notice with the regular potato, like the white potato, it's rather sad. It has lots of bruising on it and everything just from how long it's been in my pantry, which has been like about a month or something. Anyway, I try and get rid of as much of the bruising as I possibly can, and it worked out all right. So, so I ended up prepping those for what felt like ended up being no reason. And I'm giving the sheet pan a quick spray down, and then I cut up the carrots into little discs. They're about maybe like a 1/2 inch wide. As I get closer to the skinnier end, I make the cuts more like 1 inch longs to help keep the cooking as uniform as possible. Next up is going to be the onion. I cut both ends off. I cut it in half, and then I peel off the outer layer. And these onions, they were not very good this time around. Anyway, and then I am also splitting up the layers to the best of my ability so that way they cook more evenly. I also don't like big giant clusters of onion for some reason when I roast things or when I use them for just about anything except for when I put them on a burger. So, and that onion was so potent. Oh my goodness, I was tearing up so bad. Oh, I don't know what it is. I might just be like extra sensitive, is my guess. And now I'm cutting off the ends of the sweet potato. I cut it in half, and then I cut it into little half moons and add it to the bowl. It's just a nice big giant Pyrex bowl. I love my Pyrex bowls. I will find a set for you guys and link it down in the bottom in case you're looking for some really, really nice bowls to use. These are my favorite. I prefer using the glass ones over the metal ones all the time. And so now you're watching me peel off all of the unwanted parts of the potato. So, yeah. I say so a lot, don't I? Shame on me. I need to fix that. I'll work on that. And for the potatoes, I'm cutting them into little quarters, giving them about a tablespoon or 2 of oil, giving it a good mix, and then I spread it out onto an even layer over 3/4 of the sheet pan. My initial plan was to leave that last quarter of the sheet pan open for some other vegetables. I had some squash that you'll see later on. I ended up using it for the chicken. It all worked out. Just shows that plans change sometimes. And then I'm giving them a quick sprinkle of salt, pepper, and then I believe I also chose some onion powder. It's probably cayenne. And I'm looking for an herb that I didn't have in there. I looked, but it didn't exist. So I chose to sprinkle over some parsley and some oregano on top as well. came out super delicious, by the way. And I put them in a 425 degree oven, I believe, for about a total of like 40 minutes, something like that, I think. So next up, I'm getting ready to prep my salmon. I'm gonna cook them in this granite rock pan, which I just got. It is very new, and so far I really like it. The only thing I don't like so far is that it claims to have a handle that doesn't get hot, and that is a big, fat, huge freaking lie. So, yeah, that's my only beef with it. Anyway, so I took out my salmon. It's the salmon that you get in the freezer section from Costco. It is my favorite pre-done salmon. And I sprinkled one side with the Costco Cedar Plank salmon seasoning, which is amazing. It's from McCormick. I got mine from Costco. I love it. It makes me want to buy like 5 bottles to last me the rest of my life. That's how much I love this. I've had it for a few years now, and we've barely gone through any of it. But we also don't have salmon as often as I wish we could. So I cook those in a pan, get them nice and, you know, golden brown and delicious on both sides. And next up, I am prepping some, the shrimp. Yes, I am going to prep the shrimp next in that little glass bowl that you see. So I'm just getting everything all put together. And I put the shrimp in there, and then I sprinkle in some seafood seasoning onto it eventually. There we go. And I let that marinate there for a little while, and then I also put my chicken on the cutting board. I gave it a quick little wash. And that's going to get sprinkled with some of the McCormick Grill Mates seasoning that I will show you guys later. So right now I'm just putting them on the board. Went off to go do something, but it is the roasted garlic and herb seasoning from McCormick Grill Mates. I think I was looking at the ingredients. But this is actually a pretty good seasoning as well. And next up, I'm cutting up my squash. I started out with discs and then decided, you know what, I want half moons instead. So honestly, you can't go wrong with cutting up your vegetables however you like to, and using whatever vegetables you want, just so long as you use similar cook times for your vegetables, especially when you go and put them into the oven or you want to steam them and stuff. You want to keep things similar. So I'm going to insert a chart on what vegetables you can roast or steam or whatever together. So now I'm adding half of the squash that I cut up with the shrimp and adding a little bit more seasoning just to make sure that there was plenty. I really, really enjoy having a lot of flavor in my food. And now what I'm doing is I am adding the chicken breast to the sheet pan that's in the oven and setting the timer for another 15 minutes. Hi, Yuki. And I'm also getting some rice started for my shrimp dish. So in a small little pot, I am cooking the rice with just a tiny bit of oil, maybe about a teaspoon or two, if that, and cooking that on a medium heat for a couple minutes. Once the rice has turned a little bit opaque, I add twice as much water. So since I used 1 cup of rice, I'm going to add 2 cups of water to it and bring the water up to a boil. Make sure you stir the rice while it's cooking before you add the water, otherwise you're going to get burnt rice on the bottom. But once the water comes up to a boil, reduce the heat down to low so it simmers, put a lid on it, and set a timer for 20 minutes. And so now while the rice is cooking and everything's finishing up in the oven, I am going to cook my shrimp and squash mixture in my granite rock pan. I have both the granite rock pan and the blue diamond pan. I am not interested in a copper pan, mostly because of all the reviews I've seen people do on YouTube, and it just seems like the least useful of them all. I am enjoying the granite rock pan. It's a little bit more difficult for me to hold because the handle is so thin. And then I'm also measuring a half cup of coconut soup base. And I'm going to add that to the shrimp in a bit. But if you guys want to see some reviews and stuff for both the granite rock pan and the blue diamond pan, those are the two I would recommend if you want a really good nonstick skillet. I know, as seen on TV, products get really, really bad raps, but I actually do enjoy both of these. And a lot of the people who have used the blue diamond pans say that the handle gets really hot. I find that the granite rock pan's handle gets really hot, so.
I wish you guys could smell my kitchen right now. It's so good.
So now that everything is done cooking, I am laying out an excessive amount of meal prep containers. I will link the ones that I've used. I've had these for several years down in the description box below as well. I've had really great success with these. They're absolutely dishwasher safe. They're basically safe for everything except for putting them in the oven. So, and they have kept my food, you know, nice and contained, no issues. Some of the pans, like the one in the bottom left corner, the little white marks on it and stuff, that has happened from me just heating stuff in the microwave for too long. But, yeah, whatever. So, I divvied up the rice into 3 containers. One of which went with my shrimp dish. That ended up being way too much food for me. Ended up being enough for 2 meals. So, that happens too. You just kind of learn what your body wants to eat and you adjust accordingly. And I've also used some 2 compartment containers, which are actually also really good too. So after splitting up the vegetables amongst the remaining 5 containers that, you know, it could actually fit through, I placed salmon in one with rice and one without rice container, and now I am slicing the chicken breast and putting it in the remaining containers.
Alright guys, so this is what it looks like all finished. I have a salmon, or a shrimp, 2 salmon dishes, and then 3 chicken dishes. So, I know it all kind of looks like one note, like all in the same color family. I did not intend that at all in any way, shape, or form. But that is how it turned out. You can do this like with anything that you want, really. It doesn't matter a whole lot. But everything in here, you know, all of this is, you know, stuff that's actually good for you. It's good fats. It's good types of starches and things like that. So, I mean, I know white rice can be kind of like, but the nice thing is you can interexchange that with whatever types of stuff that you like. So
now here everything is all finished, all nice and put neatly in their containers and everything. Yes, the salmon does keep well in the fridge for like up to 3 days. Otherwise, after that, it can kind of start getting a little, I don't know, not as good tasting. Chicken lasts the entire week and it tastes fine to me anyway. The roasted vegetables came out great. The potato was kind of but I blame that on its condition when I used it. And the shrimp dish came out really great. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video and would like to see more, please subscribe, like, comment down below any ideas, suggestions, things like that. I would love to hear back from you guys. I hope you have a great day and happy meal planning, prepping, however you call it.